motion? I mean, seriously, come on. A study found that kids that text or talk on a cell phone while walking near or on the street, 40% more likely to get hit by an automobile. So get the notion, don't text in motion. This message has been brought to you by the courtesy of the PBIS Safety Committee.
Mrs. Burns, where's your helmet?
I need a helmet?
You always need a helmet when you're on a bike, big or small.
Wait. Where's Poop Monkey Guy? What else do I need?
Well, I'm going to tell you about that. Why don't you go have a seat and I'll take over the rest. Machesney Elementary, how you doing today? Let me see your hands, everybody that rides a bike. Put your hands down. Oh, keep your hands up. Put your hands up if you have a bike. Put your hands down if you ride your bike with a helmet. Of all ages, 300,000 kids, more than a football stadium worth, go to the hospital every year because of bike accidents and they weren't wearing a helmet. 10,000 of those children that went to the hospital that weren't wearing a helmet had to stay in the hospital for a length of time. And about 100 of those kids aren't with us today. Sorry to bum you out, but it's a very important piece of everyday life if you ride a bicycle. Helmets are very important for many reasons, not only to protect your helmet, protect your head, protect your face. They show your friends that you care about safety when you're riding a bicycle. Okay? There are many different types of helmets. Big ones, small ones, ugly ones, pink ones, blue ones, black ones. So any helmet can fit any style that you think that you need to have. From what we call a half shell. Looks like a peanut that's cut in half. We got white half shells. We have traditional bike helmets that have all the holes in them. Your mom and dad probably wear those. To full face helmets. You know what kind of guys, boys and girls that wear this? What kind of boys and girls wear a full face helmet sometimes? They do, very good. BMX riders, that's right. You ever been to a BMX ride? All right, very cool. Okay. Well, this is a very important piece of the equipment, okay? can't be on the BMX track without a helmet. I'm gonna tell you a little story about a little guy that I know. He was actually wearing his helmet. He is known all over the country for racing. He was 6 years old at the time. And he was in a training camp, learning how to enhance his skills, similar to like how many of you play football? All right, how many of you play baseball? You guys work out like what, a lot of practices? Yeah, that's right. Okay? Same thing for BMX racers. They go to practice, they go to camps, they learn how to go really fast on their bicycle. Well, he was doing just a basic drill, one that he's done 1,000 times. Okay? He flipped over backwards going over a jump. The very first thing that hit the ground was the back of his head. With this very helmet. He hit the ground so hard that it blew paint off the side of the helmet and the front of the helmet. The inside of the helmet is completely crushed. It actually broke away from the rest of the helmet. He got up and walked away. I had several parents come up to me and tell me my son shouldn't have got up. And it was because he was wearing a helmet. Helmets are very important to not just BMX riders, but to me in general. Whenever I see you guys out there riding your bikes, I cheer you on, tell you to pop a wheelie. Maybe ask you to money off that rock over there. But the first thing you're going to hear out of my mouth is, where's your helmet? Okay? Not only with helmets, we get the most important piece out of the way. Okay? There's certain rules, you know. How many weeks left in school? Someone said 18 weeks. 4 weeks? 4 weeks? All right. I will bet you, when you get out of school, one of the first things you look forward to is getting on your bike and riding down to your friend's house, or riding down to the park, bumming $2 off of mom and dad so you can go get a soda at the store. That's what I used to do. I used to ride to one end of town. My mom and dad were a postman, and I'd ask my dad for $2. And I'd ride my bike all the way to the other side of the town and tell my mom that Dad told me to ask you for $2. So I had $4. And then I take that $4 and I go to my local bike shop and buy some stickers and go buy some soda, buy some candy. It's the one freedom that we got that a lot of kids don't have, and that is getting on your bicycle and going. The world gets really big. But there's some rules that we need to follow, okay? You know, number one, obviously, is the helmet. Number two, you know, when you ride around, you want to make sure you got the right clothes on. You know, the latest tight jeans, cool shoes, Osiris shoes. That's how I hear you guys like. You know, because we want you to be seen. There's lots of cars. We got bike lanes, we got sidewalks, but when you cross the road and everything, we want you to be seen, all right? When you come to a corner, you always look both ways. Left, right, and then go, okay? Busy intersections, you know, say your buddy's on the other side, waiting for you to go. Hurry up, man, the store's about to close. They're running out of Gatorade. Look left, right, then you go, okay? Don't just go cruising out into the traffic. If you guys are riding on the street, there's no sidewalk, like a lot of areas, like my neighborhood, we don't have sidewalks. So you gotta ride in the street, okay? You always ride, you know, like driving down the street with your mom in the car, you always ride on the right-hand side of the road. You come to a corner, you gotta let the people behind you know that you're gonna turn. It's a pretty simple signal. Say I'm riding this way, I wanna make a right-hand turn. Stick my left hand up in the air, that tells that car or that rider behind you that I'm gonna turn right at this next corner. Say I'm riding this way, I'm gonna turn left, I come that corner, all you do is stick that car. It's just a courtesy to let people know. So that car can see you. Okay? Little simple things that some of us take for granted when you're out there on a bicycle. It's very important to all of us because we don't want you to be one of those numbers. Okay? Hand signals, helmets, right clothes. A lot of you got phones, a lot of you got iPods. Really cool skull candy headphones. This one's really hard for me to tell you because I know how much it is. You want to throw those headphones in, you want to ride down the street, I get it. That's kind of like your own stereo until you turn 16, you get in the car, and you can play with the radio, right? Riding with headphones is one of the most dangerous things besides wearing a headphone. Because say you go up that corner and you signal to turn left, or you want to turn right. Say unfortunately an ambulance is coming, and you're jamming out the Homeboy's Haro song. That's pretty awesome, dude. And you don't hear what's coming behind you. And you signal, which is cool, you got your helmet on, it's all good. You signal, but you can't hear that car coming behind you. Alright? So, if you absolutely have to, some of us tell you, say, just don't put both of them in. I prefer that you only use them at all, wait till you get to the store, wait till you hang out with your friends. But just be very careful when you're wearing those headphones. Okay? You see a show of hands. When you leave here, how many are going to go home? How many do you know where your helmet is when you get home? Okay. If you do not have your hand up, and you have a helmet at home, I'd like just do me a favor. I don't care if you go put it on, go run around with friends, whatever. Go home and look for your helmet. Inside that helmet should be a little 4 letters. CPSC. CPSC. Okay? That is a safety standard in the United States that they deem is the most safe and high quality piece of equipment or piece of helmet that you can possibly put in your head. If you don't, if that doesn't have that 4 letters in there, politely go up to mom and say, hey mom, go buy me an helmet. There's a really cool one that's supposed to look helmet. Shameless plug. Ask them to say, hey, dad, mom, grandma, aunt, uncle, whoever, I'd really like to wear a helmet this year. And it needs this coat. And next time you're out and about, go to your local bike shop or anything, have them check them out. And if they don't have one on the shelf, I'm sure they'll be able to show you some catalogs and come up with one and fit your stuff. Anybody have any questions? What's your name? What's your question, my friend? Sky's blue. Okay? Anybody else have a question? Hey.
I'd like to know, what if you don't ride a helmet and you're perfectly safe?
If you ride without a helmet and you're perfectly safe. That's what I do. Well, you might be the best rider in the world, right? World champion, world class. Going all over the world first, like skills. All it takes is one accident, right? All it takes is one hit to the noggin. I tell my boys, they fall and get hurt, we can put stitches, we can put casts on. We rarely can fix this. It's a tough one to fix. One more, guys. That's William? Will? He's asking me what we're going to do today. Very good question. I'd like to introduce one of my very, very good friends. He's a local boy. He actually went to high school at Boylan. Oh, yes, I know they're Husky Rebels. And he's currently attending NIU to be a school teacher. But this is my favorite part, is his job, he is a professional bike racer. He travels all over the country and races against other men in his class. He just got back from Louisiana last weekend, where he won. He's a gentleman who rides for a company called Morphine Industries. He also is a factory rider for Haro bikes. Many of you may have heard Haro bikes. This is my friend Olijuwon Davis.
Good. Thank you, Mark. A little about myself. I grew up in Rockford. I've lived here until last August. I've lived here for about 22 years. I actually attended Rockford Elementary School for 1 year in 5th grade, and that was when I started racing. I started racing on April 16, 2000, and it is now May 4, 2012, and I've still been racing, and I'm 23 years old. I started when I was 11. Anybody can do it, just like most of you guys. I loved riding my bike when I was a little kid, and the places that it's taken me is amazing. Like I can't believe the places I go. Like you said, I went to Louisiana, and I mean, I didn't start traveling around the country until BMX, so it's brought me a lot of opportunities that I've tried to make the most out of. But you asked what we were going to do today, and that right there is a starting gate. So when we race BMX, there's one of these, but it has 8 lanes. This is just a one-man practice gate. So I'm just going to give you guys a little demonstration about what it looks like to take off BMX, so you can see what this is. And obviously on a track, there's lots of jumps, but this is just focusing on the start aspect of it, which is a highly important part. So how you doing, Allie, by the way? How's it going? She's one of my biggest fans, I think. So I'm just going to demonstrate the start maybe once or twice, and you guys can watch and see if it looks fun and see if you wouldn't like to do it, because I've been doing it for 13 years now, going on 13 years, and I love every minute of it. So here we go.
This summer when you're out of school, you're going to notice it's an Olympic year. It's very important to us in the BMX community because BMX racing is now part of the Olympic Games. It's been in the Olympic Games since 2008 is when they debuted it. We actually have some very good friends of Olajuwon's are actually in a battle to make the USA cycling team that will represent the country in London, England in August. So when the Olympics start, pay attention to the listings, and you're going to see some amazing racing by some of the world-class athletes.
So here we go. This is just an example of what every race starts out like.
Here, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Olijuwon actually holds the record in our shop. Our bike shop is unique. Yeah, that's it. We actually have one of these starting gates in the middle of our bike shop. And we do a lot of training with kids of all ages. We've had as young as 3 years old as 70 years old, learn how to do a starting gate. BMX starts around. He's a coach, he does a lot of personal training, he's my kid's personal coach. We've actually clocked him in 30 feet. Okay, let me walk this off real quick before we wrap things up. In 30 feet, he's been up to 30 miles an hour. From a standstill, guys. Alright? Every Sunday out in Rockford BMX, Searles Park, racing starts at 1 p.m. Sometimes you'll see Olijuwon out there. He travels a lot, like I said. And I hope you guys come out and pay us a visit. And I hope you had a good time. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry.
I do this as a professional athlete. I like to compare myself on the same level, but I'm sure everybody's seen a basketball game or a football game. You know, like Derrick Rose or LeBron James, they're professionals, right? Okay, well, just like them, I'm a professional at this. And I'm riding a bicycle right now in a gymnasium. And the odds of me getting hurt in here are highly slim, right? There's not many things I can run into. But even though I do this professionally, I have a full-scale motocross helmet, which is Department of Transportation approved, which means you can go ride a motorcycle 90 miles an hour and still be safe with this thing. And that's on a bicycle, so you remember, even though I'm professional, anybody can get hurt, and unless you are then better than me, you're likely to get hurt on a bicycle too. So what I'm trying to say is to wear a helmet, because if you mess the factory upstairs up, if the brain doesn't work, nothing else works. So do your best to protect your head, especially when you're riding bikes, and strap on a helmet, because it'll feel better if you fall with it on, and it will if you fall with it off, all right? Thank you, everybody.
I'm sure if you have questions, they'll be around as you're leaving. You're excused.